Hello, and welcome back to Well with Samantha, with me, Samantha, and this is our fifth and final flow in our series of the elements. So we have explored fire, we have flowed through water, we've grounded down through earth, and we have risen up with air, and today we are learning all about ether, or we're going to explore ether. And with ether, which is the fifth element, it's really space. So in Sanskrit we would call this Akasha, and in the Celtic tradition the fifth element is referred to as spirit. In traditional Chinese medicine, the fifth element is metal. Now, for the purpose of our practice today, for the purpose of our physical asana practice, we will refer to it as ether, which, as I say, is space. And ultimately, what this is all about is the spaces that we breathe into, the spaces that are connected to our throat chakra, Visshuddha Chakra. And also when we think about space, when we think about ether, Akasha, spirit, ultimately what this means in each of those traditions, be it the yogic tradition, Hindu tradition, Celtic tradition, pagan tradition, ultimately that fifth element has a residing power over all of the other four. It's really our ability to connect to a higher divine power or being. It is our connection to something more than ourselves. And today we're going to think about this space or ether in terms of our breath. So as I say, it's said to be connected to Visshuddha Chakra, the throat chakra. And when I think of it in terms of my throat chakra, I think of it in terms of my voice box. I think of it in terms of my lungs. I think of it in terms of my nasal cavities, my sinus cavities. All of these spaces that require to be filled in some way, be it with air, be it with my voice, and really about how I can connect to that space. When I think of it in terms of my physical practice, I think in terms of noticing the spaces that are created when I make my shapes on the mat. So as we move through this practice, hopefully that will make more sense. But I also think of it in terms of filling those spaces again with air. So we are bringing a little bit of the element of air into this as well, but in terms of thinking about the space that is filled, created, or reduced, taken away. So, as always, bring yourself to a comfortable seated position, whether you are cross-legged, kneeling, legs completely out straight. This is not kneeling, this is mermaid. Mermaid, legs out straight, or kneeling. Or maybe you want to start lying down. That's also totally fine. And just take a few moments here to reconnect to your breath. And just notice where that breath lands and how it feels. And if it helps, maybe bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest, or if you're lying down, maybe have both hands resting at either sides of the navel. And as I say, just really take some time to notice where that breath lands and how it feels. Is your breath landing lower down in your torso, near that hand resting on your belly? Or is it landing a little bit higher, near that hand resting on your chest? There's really no right or wrong here. This is always about awareness and really just taking the time to get to know our breath a little bit better. And notice as you breathe that natural expansion and retraction of your torso. The belly rises, the ribs expand, the chest rises. The chest falls, the ribs retract, the belly comes back to center. Notice the spaces that are created here, and notice when those spaces are reduced and how that feels. Taking a deep inhale through the nose and start to exhale through the mouth. 2 more here. And taking a big inhale, bring the arms all the way up to the sky. And as you exhale, take a twist around to the left-hand side. You can rest that right hand on your left knee. Take the left hand behind and start to notice the space here. Maybe noticing the space created between your arm and your body on the left side. Noticing the space where you take the breath into on the left side of the ribs. Those spaces. And don't worry about coming too far into this twist. Go to where feels good. Take another inhale, and as you exhale, come back to center. Cross the left hand over the right, taking it to that right knee. Right hand comes behind, and again, notice how this feels on this side of the body. Notice the space on your right side that you've created between the right side of your body and your right arm, but also notice the spaces between the ribs on the right side as well. Take an inhale through the nose. Exhale. 2 more times. And slowly come back to center. And then bring yourself into a tabletop position. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. Spread those fingers nice and wide. And as you inhale, lift the head, lift the heart for cow. And as you exhale, draw the belly button in towards the spine for cat. Inhale, allow the belly to relax here as the lungs fill with air. Exhale, draw the center of the spine towards the sky. And then start to move here in time with your own breath. And then notice the spaces that you're creating and taking away. So as you bring yourself into cow, notice the space in the lower back. And as you bring yourself into cat, notice the space between your torso and the ground beneath you. Inhale, notice how that same space here has retracted. Notice as you bring yourself into cat, the space between your back and the sky has retracted. Inhale. Couple more here. And if it feels good, we can stay here in this cat-cow. Or we can start to take the weight back for child's pose. We have loads of options with child's pose. Just come to wherever feels good for you in this moment. And as you exhale, start to shift the weight forwards to chaturanga on the knees. Inhale, take it back to child's pose. Exhale, forwards, chaturanga on the knees. And again, notice the spaces here. So notice the space moving between your torso and the ground beneath you. Notice the space between the backs of your legs and your glutes as you come back to child's pose. Notice the space between your fingers, the space between your toes. And if this feels good, stay here. Or curl the toes under, lift up into downward facing dog. Don't worry about those heels touching the ground. As you know, this is a back bend. Bring a slight bend to the knees, take the hips skywards, and think about that space between the shoulder blades. Think about how that feels. Think about the space created between the entire front of your body and the ground. And then on your next exhale, start to shift the weight forwards to high plank. Notice how that space has changed. Slight bend to the elbows. Let's not lock out those joints here. Inhale, lift back to down dog. Exhale, spinal way forwards to high plank. And continuing to move here in time with your breath. And then let's all meet back in our down dog. Taking that dog for a little walk here. Start to walk the feet in towards one another. Bend the knees and step the feet in towards the hands. Hang low in your full forward fold here for a moment. Option to keep the hands flat to the ground or on the fingertips, or maybe palms up, or bring the hands to the opposite elbows. Notice how suddenly that space that you created in down dog has completely disappeared. Take an inhale, start to roll all the way up to standing vertebrae by vertebrae, head, neck and shoulders come up last. Palms face forward, stand tall in your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Take an inhale through the nose. Exhale with a sigh. Take an inhale, bring the arms to the sky. And as you exhale, start to shift your weight down into Utkatasana. Bring the hands down through heart center. Notice the space between your glutes and the ground. Ground down through those heels so that your toes are relaxed. You could maybe lift them away from the ground. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to bring your right elbow down towards your left knee, the outside of your left knee. If that feels good, we can always take it a bit higher, or we could be here, okay? Go to where feels good today. That yes, this is going to be quite a powerful flow, but go where feels good. And the gaze can be down at the ground, straight over the hands, or over that left shoulder. Take an inhale here. Notice where the breath goes. And if it didn't already go here by itself, think about taking the breath to the left side of the body. Exhale. One more time. Exhale, start to unravel, bring those arms all the way up and sit down a little bit more in that chair. Utkatasana. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. And we can stay here if we want, or we can bring that right elbow and take a twist from the waist. Bring it down towards that right knee, the outside of the right knee. Gaze can be downwards, over the hands, or over that right shoulder. Keeping that weight grounding down through the heels of the feet. Again, take an inhale into the right side of the body. Exhale. Take 2 more breaths here, and this time notice the space you've created with your arms. One more time. Inhale, release. Straighten the legs, take the arms all the way down to the ground. Rest those hands down or on the fingertips, or hold on to the elbows. Go to where feels good. Notice the space you've created in the back of the body. Take the breath there. Exhale. One more time. Take an inhale, bring the arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands down through heart center. On your next inhale, bring the left leg up to about a 90-degree angle. As you exhale, start to hinge forwards at the hips. We're going to step back into warrior 2. So take that foot back, rotate to 90 degrees externally. So it's facing the long edge of the mat or towards me. Make sure your right foot is in the center of your mat, facing the top of your mat. Bring those arms all the way out. And take a moment here. Make sure the knee is above the ankle. Try not to overshoot it, right? It puts a lot of pressure on the ankle. I just want you to be safe when you're practicing. Holding here, notice the space that you've created. Notice that space that you've created with your legs. Notice the space you've created with your arms. Take an inhale and notice where the breath goes. Exhale. One more time. This time as you inhale, start to windmill the arms back. So your left hand comes down to the back of that left leg, right arm overhead. Now you can take that left arm behind if you want to for a bind. And if it feels good, maybe take that right arm behind as well, just holding on to the opposite elbows. Notice how this changes the feeling in the body. Notice how it changes that feeling of space. So here I'm so aware that I've got space here, I've got space here. But the minute I take those arms behind me, space suddenly opens right up. But I'm also feeling quite restricted here. And this is actually a lot more work for me. Take an inhale through the nose. Exhale, release, come back to warrior two. Straighten off that front leg, bring the arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, bend that front knee, bring the arms down, warrior two. Inhale, arms come up, notice the difference in space here. One more time. This time as the arms come down, keep that front leg straight. Reach forwards with that right hand. Bring that right arm down to the ground for Trikonasana. Now, we can keep that elbow to the thigh if we want. We can take the hand down to the shin or the calf, or we can take the hand completely to the ground. Gaze wherever helps you feel stable. To that right foot, straight ahead, hello. Or up towards that left hand, take an inhale here. Exhale. Notice where you feel the space in the body and take the breath hit there. One more time. Windmill the arms down, exhale. Rotate that back foot to face the top of your mat. Take an inhale here, lift the head, lift the heart. Exhale, fold over, pyramid. Inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. Exhale, fold forwards. One more time, notice that space. Lower that back knee down, almost setting up for a low lunge. But we're going to heel toe that right foot out towards the long edge of the mat. Keep the hands on the inside of that right foot. And then take the right hand to the inside of the right knee. We're going to open that knee out. So I can see the sole of my foot here, okay? Slight bend to that left elbow. Gaze can be down to that left hand. I could be looking at my sole of my right foot. I can take my hand to my right, take my gaze to my right hand. Or I can look straight up towards the sky. Think about the space that we've created here. Notice the hips. Notice the lower back. Notice the right arm and the right leg. Notice the left leg. Notice the left arm. Notice the chest. Take an inhale. Exhale. One more time. And as you exhale, bring the sole of the foot back down to the ground. Heel toe that foot straight back to center. Curl the back toes under, lift into down dog. Take that dog for a little walk here. Shift the weight forwards to high plank. Drop the knees for me here with it being our first one. Slight bend to the elbows. Come down through Chaturanga on an exhale. Inhale, rise up through Cobra. And take it back into Child's Pose. And with Child's Pose, feel free to take a wide knee here. I feel like this gives me more space. So if you've ever found Child's Pose with the knees together, arms down the side, by the sides of the body, quite restrictive, take those knees to the long edges of the mat. I like to rest one foot on top of the other. I don't know why, it's just more comfortable. And then start to fold forwards and notice if that helps you to feel more spacious. Rest the head to the ground, or my favourite, Fold the hands over in front of you, rest the head down on the forehead. Rest the forehead down on the backs of the hands. And then take the breath into wherever feels most expansive for you. So if that's the back of the body, take the breath to the back of the body. If it feels expansive to take the breath to the belly here, take the breath to the belly. Staying focused on that breath. Taking an inhale through the nose, lift all the way up to a tabletop position, curl the toes under, lift into down dog. Take that dog for a little walk here, and then keeping the feet together, bend the knees and either step or hop the feet in towards the hands. Hang low in your full forward fold. Notice the space between you and the ground beneath you. And as you inhale, roll all the way up to standing, vertebrae by vertebrae. Palms face forwards. Take an inhale, bring the arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands down through heart center. We're going to lift our right knee all the way up to a 90-degree angle as we inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to hinge at the hips and step that right foot back for warrior two. Rotate externally to face the long edge of the mat or me. Left foot to the center of the mat and knee above the ankle. When you feel grounded, safe and secure, bring those arms all the way up. Warrior two. And notice here how your body feels. Notice the spaces. Do they feel the same as they did the other side? Breathe into them. Take an inhale. Exhale. And on your next inhale, start to windmill the arms back for reverse warrior. Maybe even take that right arm behind for a bind. Maybe take the left arm behind, holding here. Inhale, bring the arms all the way out, warrior two. Exhale, as you inhale, start to lift up. Bring the arms all the way up as well. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. One more time. And this time as you exhale, keep that front leg straight. Reach forwards with that left hand and start to bring that left arm down. Again, we can rest it on the thigh, or we can take it to the shin, the ankle, or all the way down to the ground, Trikonasana. Take an inhale, bring that right arm all the way up. Gaze can be wherever helps you feel stable. Take an inhale here. Exhale. Notice the spaces. Exhale, windmill that right arm down, frame that front foot, rotate the back foot to face the top of the mat, shift the weight back for pyramid. Take an inhale, lift the head, lift the heart, gaze straight ahead. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, lift the head, lift the heart, notice those spaces. Exhale, fold forwards. One more time, inhale. Exhale, fold forwards and start to lower that back knee down to the ground, uncurl the toes. And then heel toe that left foot out to the long edge of the mat so your hands are both on the inside here. Slight bend to the elbows. Bring that left hand to the inside of that left knee. And then slowly start to guide that left knee out to the side so I can see the sole of my foot here. Holding here, gaze wherever helps you feel comfortable and notice those spaces. Breathe into those spaces. Where do you feel most expansive here when you breathe in? Exhale. So maybe you feel it in the lower belly, maybe you feel it higher up in the chest, maybe you feel it on the left side of the body. One more time. And exhale, lower that sole to the ground, bring it all the way back to center, frame that front foot. Curl the toes under, step back into down dog. Take that dog for a little walk here. And then shifting the weight forwards to high plank, notice the space you've created here, hold here. Take an inhale through the nose. Drop the knees if you want to. Exhale, come down through Chaturanga. Inhale, release those arms. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Rise up through Sphinx. I'm really loving Sphinx as an alternative to Cobra, like massively. I feel like where we do so many down dogs in yoga, and maybe that's more my fault than anything else, I just feel like Sphinx instead of Cobra is such a nice alternative. Hold here, take an inhale. Exhale. Think about the spaces in your body here. Relax the legs, relax the glutes. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. So already we've created space here, right? But then think about the lower back. Think about that space. Think about the front of the body, the torso. Think about that space. One more time. Exhale, fold forwards completely. And as you inhale, rise up through Cobra. And then take the weight back into Child's Pose. And again, take a wide knee here if you want to, if it feels more comfortable. Maybe rest the head on the back of the hands. And notice the spaces in your body. Take an inhale to the lower back. Exhale. Take an inhale to the mid back. And exhale. Take an inhale to the space between the shoulders. Exhale. Holding here. And take 3 more rounds of breath. Take another inhale, bring yourself all the way back up to that tabletop position. Curl the toes under, lift into down dog. Take that dog for a walk here. And then shift yourself forwards to that high plank. Bring the left hand to the center of the mat. Start to rotate the feet towards the long edge of the mat to face me. And then bring your right arm all the way up to the sky. Now I said to face me, I've totally assumed that I'm mirroring you. So your feet are going to face the long edge of the mat so that your right arm can come up. Vashistasana, side plank. Notice the spaces here. Now, we have so many options here. We can lower that left knee down to the ground and keep that right leg extended, or we can lower both knees down and stack them. So notice the space here. If you want, you can extend both legs and be quite high up in your side plank. Hold here, take an inhale through the nose. Exhale, lower down to the ground. Bring yourself to that high plank position. Option to drop the knees. Exhale, come down through Chaturanga. Inhale, rise up through Cobra or Sphinx. Curl the toes under, lift back into down dog. Shift the weight forwards to that high plank position. Bring the right hand to the center of your mat. Externally rotate your back feet to face the long edge of the mat. Rise up into Vashistasana. Take your preferred option here. Go to where feels good. We're going to hold for 3 rounds of breath and notice the spaces. Exhale, lower that left hand down to the ground, reposition the hands underneath the shoulders. Take an inhale as you exhale, lower down through Chaturanga. One last time. Inhale, rise up through Cobra or Sphinx. Exhale, take it back into Child's Pose or kneeling here. Give yourself some love here. Take an inhale through the nose, either into the belly or the lower back. Roll out those wrists if you want to. Exhale. Take an inhale to the sternum here or the mid back. Exhale. One last time, take an inhale to the chest or between the shoulders. Exhale. exhale. And wherever you're at, let's meet back in our seated position. We're going to finish our practice with some hummingbird breath. So bring yourself to a comfortable seated position. And bring the hands wherever feels comfortable for you here, shoulders away from the ears. And hummingbird breath, we've done this before on my channel, but it's an inhale through the nose, and as you exhale, you sort of part the lips and bring the tongue to in between the teeth. So as you exhale, it creates like a humming sound. This is called Bromari Breath, because it sounds like a bumblebee buzzing. So take an inhale through the nose. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. One more time. Bring your hands to your heart center. Start to rub the palms together. Feel that warmth, heat, and energy start to build. Place the hands over the eyes. Feel that warmth, heat, and energy resonate throughout your entire body. Take a few moments to breathe here and reconnect back to your natural rhythm of breathing. And keeping the eyes closed, draw the hands away. Place them one on top of the other at your heart center. Take a deep inhale through the nose here. And exhale everything out with a sigh. And as we do, we say thank you to the Krishnamacharya and Iyengar lineage of yoga, and to all of the teachers and practitioners who came before us. Thank you so much for your practice today. I really hope that you found this powerful vinyasa just what you needed. If you enjoyed it, please remember to hit the notifications button, the like button, the subscribe button, and leave me a comment below, because all of those things that you do support my small business and also help me to reach more people and bring them into our small but ever growing online community of yoga friends. And also hopefully soon I will be doing Pilates and bar on here as well. So please join me next week, where we will be flowing through, well, it's a new month, so we will be exploring the Vayus, or the winds, named after the Hindu deity Vayu, god of air. We're going to be starting with Apana Vayu, so I will look forward to seeing you next Tuesday for that. Take care, stay well.